Well, it's time for the final season of our Youth Development Challenge save with Brisbane Roar. Last season, we were crowned champions of the Isuzu A-League once again, but we did not win the finals, as we either win the league or the finals, but never seem to win both. We are back in the Asian Champions League, however, because we did win the league, but we also have been knocked out of the Australia Cup in the second round on the last two seasons, so I'd love to do a slightly better performance this time around. Can we win 4 trophies? Maybe. Probably not. Can we win 3? 3's a possibility. I think 3's a possibility. Probably not the Asian Champions League, let's be honest. What with it being a Youth Development Challenge and being Season 10, we need to lock in 5 players who have come through our youth intakes over the last few seasons. They all need to be under the age of 22, so 21 and under. And last season, this is what we finished with. We finished with Morgan, Szymanski, Shepherd, Norton and Draper. We're going to jump forward to the end of the initial transfer window to see, have we done any changes? We don't need to do any changes, but we could do them if we feel like we want to. Maybe Norton might drop out because we probably don't need to lock him in anymore because he's going to play anyway. What with this being a transfer window, we do have £2 million to spend. We have got a fairly sizable wage budget as well if we want to do it. Not too convinced we're going to do a huge amount, but I think we have ourselves a non-Australian slot in our squad. So we might look at trying to invest, bringing in somebody who can kind of fill in that gap. Somebody who's going to be expensive as well. Something I didn't mention actually in Season 9, which I feel like I probably should have done. Jack Mason, who was our first player that we actually locked in, who's now 26 years old, got released at the end of his contract. He moved over to Melbourne City FC, where he played 13 times last season, most of them coming off the bench. Didn't score a single goal. Scored 117 for us. I feel like Melbourne City aren't using him right. Anyway, we are going to jump forward to the end of the initial transfer window. Are we going to bring in somebody to our squad costing £2 million and probably on £40,000 a week? It's unlikely, but something might happen. First of all then, on the 14th of September, we've got some transfer business to talk about, and you can see 3 players leaving the club on permanent deals. Andrew Leonard, who came to us a few seasons ago on a free transfer, I believe. We played him a lot, but I think most of them were actually kind of off the bench. In fact, that season he started 27 games. Maybe I'm lying. For some reason I thought he played a lot off the bench, but no, he has moved over to Al Nassr in the United Arab Emirates. Basically, we weren't going to compete for the wages there. Shelford Lugo has also moved on, signing for Perth Glory. I think he was out of contract. Again, we weren't really playing him the last few seasons, coming off the bench quite a lot, but not really starting, so he's made a new life for himself over in Perth. And as we mentioned in last season, Arsenio Versluis has moved back to his native Netherlands, signing for AZ Alkmaar after his contract expired, a contract that I desperately tried to renew, and he was having absolutely none of it. We have brought in one player, and it is Iago Corral, a 21-year-old Spanish defence midfielder and centre-back. He has been brought in to replace Leonard. Yes, he's not as good as perhaps we could have got. He's cost us absolutely nothing as well. But the problem we've had as a club like Brisbane Roar, and I'm imagining most other teams in the A-League, we don't have the reputation to be able to be bringing in really good footballers. Even if we've got the financial power, we've got the money to buy somebody for, let's say, £3 million, we can chuck £50,000 a week at them, and it won't actually affect our sort of wage budgets. No one's going to want to join us, basically. Nobody wants to join us, so it has meant we've kind of been stuck with players like Corral, who, again, he's not a terrible footballer. He's got some potential. He's 4-star current ability. He's definitely a good footballer, but he's not as good as perhaps we maybe needed. When it comes to the players that will be locked into the starting 11 for the season, it is the same 5 that were locked in at the end of last season, so we will quickly fly through them. Lucas Morgan, first up, our number 1 goalkeeper at 17 years of age, who is literally 17 years old and about 6 months or 9 months at this point. He's going to be our number 1, obviously, until the end of the save. We've got in left-back Jacek Szymanski, 9 under-20 caps now at 19 years old. He's improving. Is he improving as quickly as I'd like? Probably not. We do need to get some more goals and assists from Szymanski playing in that left-back position, because that's where a lot of our assists seem to come from, is the fullbacks, and Szymanski has been letting the side down the last few seasons. Ben Shepherd on the right-hand side in the wing position, 2 caps to his name for the Australia national side, had 2 very good seasons on the right wing. Hopefully he can make it a third. In fact, I think he's had 3 good seasons on the right wing. Hopefully he can make it a third. Alongside Shepherd is Andre Norton, 19 years old, now 4 caps and 1 goal to his name for the Australia national side. Has basically been ridiculously good since breaking into the starting 11. He actually played once before we locked him in, and then his average rating is a 7.38 and a 7.36 across the last 2 seasons. Andre Norton is probably our best ever player to come through our youth intakes, if you ask me. And I think a close second is probably Krios Draper, leading the line with 5 caps to his name now. 85 league appearances, 41 goals, 15 finishing. Should hopefully lead to a few more goals. Last season, I don't think was as impressive. I'm completely wrong there. I thought last season wasn't as good as the season before. Nope, he scored 18 and 23 last season, or the season before that, it was 14 and 30. So, Krios Draper has seen a bit of improvement. Maybe he can break 20 league goals this season. That would be absolutely magical. So that is the 5 players we are locking into our squad for Season 10. And it is a season where we are still in the Australia Cup, which is very good to see. We have beaten Bethania Rams 9-0. Bethania Rams, sure, we'll go with that as their name. And we've also beaten Moorland City 5-1. It means we set up a quarter-final match against Adelaide United. And then hopefully we will be playing against maybe Springfield United or Oakley Cannons in the semi-final to set up our final against Macarthur FC, which we'll win 6-0. If that happens now, I don't know what I'm going to do, but that's oddly specific, right? Obviously, we are back in the Champions League as well. We find ourselves in Group G with Buraham United from Thailand, Kong An Hanoi from Vietnam, and Dalian Professional or DL Pro from China. I think we should be good enough to get ourselves through this group. Arguably, we should be finishing first, maybe second. Buraham United, very good. DL Pro are good. I'm not too sure about Hanoi, but I feel like they're probably going to be finishing bottom of the table. Anyway, then let's jump forward to the start of the next transfer window. The first part of the season will be done. The group stages of the Champions League will also be finished. We should be finishing top. First of all, in the Australia Cup, unfortunately, we did not win it. We lose to Melbourne City in the final, but we did beat Adelaide 4-1. We didn't go up against to play a Springfield United, I think, or Oakley Cannons. I've just seen Oakley Cannons beat Springfield United 8-5. No, we played Central Coast Mariners, a team that we then beat 6-1, and in the final we lose 3-2 against Melbourne City FC, which is frustrating, but we did get ourselves to a final, which is a massive, massive improvement on the previous 2 seasons, where we were absolutely garbage and got knocked out in the second round. As for the Asian Champions League, we have managed to qualify out of the groups. We are now going to be up against Yokohama F. Marinos in the second round. When we have a look, it's probably easier to just go straight to Group G. We did win the group with 6 wins to our name, a positive 20 goal difference as well, beating DL Pro 2-0, Buraham United 3-1, Hanoi 4-0, DL Pro once again 4-0, Hanoi once again 4-0, and Buraham United 5-1. So we conceded twice in 6 games, winning the group with 18 points, setting us up against Yokohama F. Marinos, a team that have knocked us out of the Asian Champions League in the past. I hope they don't do it again. And finally, before we delve into the transfer market, or hopefully delve into the transfer market, we have played 12 league games. We find ourselves sat right at the top of the table with 25 points, 8 wins, 1 draw against Perth, a 4-4 draw, and then 3 defeats against Newcastle Jets, Melbourne City FC and Sydney FC. We're conceding a lot of goals. In fact, we are the 4th worst team when it comes to goals conceded. That's bad, but the fact that we've scored 31, I guess, kind of makes it slightly better. Obviously, when you look at our squad, where is he? Lucas Morgan is our number 1 goalkeeper. He's still not quite 18 years old yet. So the fact that he's conceded 13 in 9 league games, it's not great. Although he's only played 9, which means Lang Loi has played 4 matches. He's played 2 in the league. Also, Bassetto's played a Jason Champions League game and kept a clean sheet. He's absolutely garbage, by the way. Well, it is a transfer window. We've got 1.8 million to spend. We've got about £40,000, maybe, in our wage budget if we would like to spend that as well. So we're going to jump forward to the end of it somewhere early on in February, see how well things go. We won't have played the Yokohama F. Marinos games, but obviously we will have played a few more league games. It's the 7th of February, and yep, no transfers, no one in, no one out. I want to have a quick look at leaving the club on free transfer. So 2 players did actually leave back in September, so these basically didn't get qualified or registered in the squad. As you can see, neither of them were actually of any use because neither of them actually played for us. Sort of an underwhelming transfer window for a final season of a save, but we don't need to buy anyone, so why should we be buying anybody? When it comes to the matches then in the league, we've drawn 1 more game by the looks of it, a 1 more draw against Western United, but we've picked up a few more wins as well, putting us top of the table. 4 points clear of Macarthur, 5 points clear of Western Sydney Wanderers, and what is that, 7 points clear of Western United. So lots of teams actually in this fight at the moment. Has our goal difference improved? It certainly has. I've just seen, actually, we've conceded once. We've conceded 3. Sorry, not once. Conceded just 3 more goals in that time. So we're still not good, but we're getting better, I guess. I've just seen as well, so some players that I've not locked in, there's quite a few players scoring goals who have come through our youth intakes who I've not locked in. So Muster, might be his name, has played 21 appearances for us this season. 10 League, 4 Australia Cup, 6 Champions League, 9 goals, 5 assists. We've also got Anthony Hill, who's, I'm assuming, playing on the left-hand side, replacing Sancho once he's left. So he's got 9 starts, 9 assists as well to his name. Salama, where are you playing? You've got 5 starts, 10 off the bench. Where have you been playing? On the right wing? As a striker? Why are you playing as a striker? Is it because Draper's out on international duty? It is. Okay, so when Draper goes on international duty, which happens a few times, it means that we're probably going to be getting somebody like a Salama playing for us, which is fair enough. I've just seen there as well, Ben Shepherd scored 4 against Central Coast Mariners. Not that it really matters because it is the final season of the Youth Development Challenge, but we have had a reasonable youth intake. I'm going to fly through these players quickly. Pejovic, who is a 16-year-old right-back, doesn't look particularly awful. Fraser Shields, who is a 16-year-old left and right-back, who does look particularly awful. We have Pavo Tragulja, might be his name, who's a 16-year-old striker who might get good, maybe not. I'm not too convinced on that one. We've got Brody Bennett, who actually does look pretty good. I like Brody Bennett. Or if we were doing a few more seasons, maybe Brody Bennett would be replacing Andre Norton in a few years' time. We have Jean-Marc Badal, who is a 16-year-old centre-back. I like him. For some reason, I like him, and I don't know why. I don't think he's a good centre-back. I think maybe he might be a midfielder. If we did more seasons, I might make him a midfielder. We've got Bryce Harrison, who is a centre-back, who's rubbish. Why do my coaches think he could be good? We've got Johnny Sampson, who is a centre-back playing in midfield. He's a centre-back, right? He's got 12 tackling. He is 5'11", so we can't really do too much in the air. In fact, he's got 3 heading. He definitely needs to learn that. Johnny Sampson I think he might be good, but arguably probably not. And then top of the tree, Sam White, a Scotland under-21 international at 16 years old on that right wing. Looks good. I do like the look of Sam White. Is he part Australian? I assume so he is. He was born in Bridge of Don in Scotland, wherever that is. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, obviously, about these players because we're not going to be doing a Season 11, but I've just starred them anyway because, if we go in the future. Speaking of the future, we are going to jump to the end of the regular season, see how well things go. Can we win the league? Can we also get ourselves to, I'm going to say probably the Champions League semi-final? I think it's probably where we'll get to. It will be nice to get that far. So back in the 2031-2032 season, we won the league with a record 65 points. This time around, we finished on 63, so very, very close to winning with another record. Just turning one of those defeats into a victory would have meant we finished on 66, and that would have been an actual record. But we have won the league. We've done very well. In fact, the last few games of the season, we have not conceded many goals at all. However, when it comes to the Asian Champions League, I feel like I've said this before in season, I'm going to say 8. The wise ones have seen, we've got knocked out by Yokohama F. Marinos. I'm pretty sure this season here, which is the same final. It's the literal same final. If the same things happened. We win 3-0 as well, and then lose 5-0 away from home, meaning that we get knocked out by Yokohama in the second round. It's frustrating. It's so frustrating. We did so good in season 6 and 7 or 5 and 6, getting to the final a couple of times, losing out ultimately to sides from the Middle East. But it's teams from Japan that seem to be doing us at the moment, and I don't know why. And they all get to the final. Every single time a team from South Korea or Japan gets to the final and then lose. I mean, the last time somebody who isn't from the Middle East have won was Kashima Antlers in 2028. We've got Seoul from South Korea in 2026. Esteghlal from Iran? It is Iran in 2024. Awara Red Diamonds in 2023. So mostly teams from the Middle East seem to win it, but the occasional non-Middle Eastern side does win. I guess Esteghlal is Middle East, isn't it? So technically they kind of fall under that, although I imagine they don't have the money that the Saudi Arabian sides have. Anyway, it does mean that we have got one more trophy to try and win this season, and that is the A-League Finals. I would love to win this once again, at least finishing the final season with a runners-up medal for the Australia Cup and 2 league trophies would be pretty good. Not amazing, but we'll take it. And up against MacArthur FC, then in the final, we do win 2-0 in the end. It was Abdulrahman Muster, still not quite sure how to say his name, with the opening goal. The fact that he's playing and I'm not controlling that is pretty impressive. And Owen Apap as well, somebody who we did have locked in for a fair few seasons, also on the score sheet. 39 caps for Malta, by the way. That's pretty impressive. So we have won the double in the final season. And I guess the only good thing that we can take from the Asian Champions League is we did get knocked out by the eventual winners, Yokohama F. Marinos, winning against Al Hilal in the final 3-2 after the 2 legs. But this is the state of our final season then, so winning the league, winning the finals, losing in the second round of the Champions League, and also being a runner-up in the Australia Cup. We should have won the treble, okay? A treble that we have actually won 3 times. So we've won trophies every single season. Apart from season 1, I don't think that technically we weren't there. That wasn't us. We took over for this season. So we took over. Technically, it was that season, but it wasn't. The season had already finished. So season 1, we won the league and the finals. Season 2, we won the league and the finals. Season 3, we won the league, the finals, and the Australia Cup. And once again, in season 4. Season 5, we just won the regular season. Season 6, we won the Australia Cup and the regular season. Season 7, we win the treble. Season 8, we win the finals. Season 9, we win the regular season. And Season 10, we win the regular season and the finals. We've won a lot of trophies with Brisbane Roar. That's ridiculous. The last thing we're going to do then before we wrap up this season is we're going to take a look at the 5 players who have been locked in, but also take a look at some of the other players as well. So Lucas Morgan, who is now 18 years old, has been our number 1 goalkeeper. He's not really improved, but he's only 18. He's literally got 20 years possibly of a career ahead of him. So he should get good. I've got no concerns about that one at all. We have Jacek Szymanski, who has been our left back for 3 seasons. He's still not really improving. I mean, he is, but he's not. He's not really doing the job. He's got 14 assists this season, which is his best year for assists. Just the 1 goal, unfortunately, to his name, though. Ben Shepherd on the right wing, 103 league appearances, now 2 Australia caps, 18 goals and 8 assists for the year. Andre Norton has had another ridiculous season, 20 goals, 19 assists, 31 appearances in all competitions. So he's missed a lot of football as well. I'm assuming because he's picked up 8 Australia caps, it's meant he's missed a lot of football because of those international games. But he's good. He's 19, 8 caps, 2 goals, 5 under 20 caps and 3 goals as well. I don't think he's really getting better. His finishing's going up, decisions going up, determination's got a nice big green arrow, but I feel like he's kind of been this good for the last couple of seasons. And the final player who we did have locked in was Krios Draper, now 25 caps for Australia, still no goals. In fact, I don't think he picked up any more caps this season, has he? He's good. He's on the downward turn by the looks of it. 29 goals this season, 7 assists. I said at the start of this season, can he get 20 goals this season? He can, but most of them seem to come in like the Champions League and the Cups. He got 18 the year before that. He got 19 in all competitions. The year before that, he got 31, but 16 of them came in the Asian Champions League. So Krios Draper has had another good season. He's not really doing it, though, in the league, is he? I've just sorted this by starred players as well. So these are players who are in my starting, like my first team, who are starred. So we've got Musta, who has played 26 matches, 11 goals and 6 assists. For a 17-year-old who I didn't lock in, he's our best left winger, which is ridiculous to me. We've also got Anthony Hill, who seems to be playing as a striker or a backup left winger by the looks of it. He's now out injured for 7 to 10 months, which is unfortunate. He's got 8 goals and 11 assists to his name. We've also got Charlie Bright, who is technically too old now, but he's still getting some game time. He's got a broken arm and he's out of contract. Probably would want to fix that if we were actually continuing this save. Giovanni Di Martino, 19 years old, Italian under-18 international. He's got a few appearances, 29 of them off the bench, 7 assists though. It's actually pretty impressive. Jaden Rhodes, not playing a huge amount of football this time round. We've got Matthew Lee's got 16 subs appearances on that right wing, which is a lot of sub appearances. Owen Apap, 36 starts. We've also got, who is this here? We've got Willem Chand, who's from Fiji, who's played 14 matches off the subs bench. He's not very good, but for some reason keeps getting a lot of game time. And also, finally, at the bottom of the list, we have Youssef Salama, 19 years old, 4 under-20s caps, 2 goals. Probably playing as a backup striker for the most part, can also play on that right wing. So we're getting a lot of players through that are good enough to play for us now, which is quite nice to see. But I don't know what I'm going to say there. It's just nice to see, isn't it? It's just nice to see that we're doing quite well when it comes to bringing in these players. What I would have liked to have seen is this number here not be negative, okay? I would have liked to sell some of those players for nice big profits. We did sell some players if we have a look here. So we've got Calzagno, who we obviously sold. He would get a nice big profit if he eventually left Al Qadsiya. We've also got Jay Neve, who would make a bit of profit if he eventually left Shenhua. We've also got, as we know, Sancho, which technically he's not one of our players who we brought in, but I'd like to claim that we found him. We've got Emilio Lawrence, players here who've got some sell-ons in there, so if we actually do lose these players or move them onto different clubs, we'd make a fair amount of money from them. But that is going to do it then for our Youth Development Challenge. How well do you think it went in charge of Brisbane Roar? I think we brought in some very good players. We actually dragged some players up through the mud who potentially weren't good enough for us, but because we played them, they got a bit better than perhaps they arguably would have done if they never actually got the opportunity. But thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and if you want to see what I'm going to be doing up next. And I'll catch you in the next one.